And we are live. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90, just as the internet goes. Great. We've got Flawless back again. Again, you know we've got to get Flawless on every time we've got a Manchester United preview. How are you doing, Flawless, anyway?
I'm good, man. All good. Blessed for having me as well. Blessed for much appreciated. Big up the chat.
Anytime.
Big up everyone on the channel as well. So yeah, man. Thank you for having me over here. And I'm good. I hope you're blessed. Like outside of the football and outside of Leicester. I hope you're good.
Yeah. All life is good. Just football is bottom of the table. You know what that's like, bro. It wasn't that long ago that you were in that position.
Yeah. You ain't bottom of the table. I swear it's West Ham.
Not anymore, man.
I didn't know that. I did not know
how
that.
we're still in the job because they won. West Ham won. Yeah, it's us, Wolves, Bournemouth. Bournemouth on -14. Nah, already. Let me bring it up.
Yeah, it's because they got packed 9-0. Obviously, I've missed the last couple of days of football, so I don't even know what's going on like that. Like, I know United signed Anthony, and that's pretty much it. And Ronaldo still can't get a move.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. That was going to be one of my questions. We'll get into it anyway.
Cool.
So, Anthony, all signs are not confirmed just of yet, but it's pretty much done his deal. How are you thinking about how are you feeling about him?
Over the moon about it. Because from like everyone's talking about the price tag. Price tags only come up when players don't deliver. If he delivers, then it's fine. We haven't had a left-footed right winger since Di Maria. That's the last time. You know what I'm saying? I let you know when Liverpool concede that you can send back.
Big up, Ethan.
Crying Ryan and that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Liverpool do get packed. I've got it on. But yeah, as I was saying about Anthony, people only talk about, and excuse me, people, if my voice is different. Carnival is just, like that's the effects. My voice ain't it. But we move. Yeah, people only talk about price tags when players don't deliver. And we haven't had a left-footed right winger since Di Maria. And even him, he didn't play there all the time. Like he played centrally, like he played from the left. Van Gaal had him all over the place. So he adds so much balance to our attack. And people talking about it was too much money. I've been tweeting this the entire summer. Bring me players. I don't care about prices. Bring me players. Look at our team. Even when we played well against Southampton, look at that attack. And you're telling me, Anthony, they should have charged us 200 million for Anthony. When you look at our attack, Sancho's all well and good, cool. Martial, I rate, but he's injury prone. Rashford, not good enough. Alanga, not good enough. Ronaldo, don't want to be here and not good enough. So our options are very, very thin. And also why I like it as well is because I trust Ten Hag. I've been saying back the manager, give him what he wants, because we've seen from the players he's brought in the impact they've already had. Already Martinez has made a major impact. Already Malassi has made an impact. Eriksen's made an impact. I expect Casemiro to do the same. I expect Anthony to do the same. That's 5 players. Already he's building his team. 5 of the 10 outfield players can be his. Obviously, Dubravka's supposed to be on his way in as well. So then that could be 6 in total. And we still need more because we did not only will be lacking in quality. I keep saying this, we were lacking in quantity as well because we lost a lot of players in the summer. A lot of players went for free. And even the players we had, they're not good enough. And we've seen that. And what I like what Ten Hag did is when people were like, oh, why is Maguire still the captain? Why has he not dropped Maguire? Why has he not dropped Shaw and dropped this player? He gave them players enough chance to hang themselves, and they did. He gave Shaw and Maguire and your Lindelof. I don't even know if Lindelof played, but Shaw and Maguire. He gave those 2 in particular time to hang themselves. Because if he would have, in his first game, and he plays Malacia and Martinez and it doesn't go well, all the pressure's on to play Maguire. Maguire don't get into this team anymore. Shaw don't get into this team anymore, like in terms of first 11. For the first time in a long time, we actually look solid defensively. Like Varane looks like Varane. I've always been a fan of Varane. My biggest issue with him last season was his availability. He played 22 league games last season. That's not enough. But if Martinez and Varane can stay
injury as well.
Yeah, that was injury. That was mostly injury. Like there was times when he didn't play, but most of the time, I don't think he played. I don't think he was available for like 3-4 games in a row last season, like Premier League games back to back. So hopefully he can stay fit because I like the idea of their partnership. I spoke on this a lot with Varane. Martinez is the perfect foil for him. When you look at when Varane's been at his most successful, it's next to a centre back of that profile. So Pepe, Ramos, aggressive. Not saying Martinez is of that level, but it's profile, it's partnership. You get Malacia, who is a left back. I was saying this, just bring me P&P in it. If he brings me pace and power, he's going to do better than Shaw. Already he looks better than Shaw. Delow's someone who I think has been overly criticized, and we're seeing better from him. And that adds in the Delow things, adds into what I was talking about with Anthony. With Delow, like, He's playing in front of in front of De Gea, who's just not it. You're next to Lindelof, who's not it. The right hand side is all lopsided, whether it's Rashford, whether it's Alanga out there, and then you got McTominay and Fred in front of you. He's never going to succeed. All of a sudden, we get a manager in a system and some quality players, and Dalot looks better. He was one of the better players against Southampton. So yeah, man, I'm pleased as a United fan for the first time in a long time, actually confident going into games.
Yeah, because comparing about this time, or not this time last year, thereabouts when you were playing with the 4-2. Coming back to that, in terms of obviously you were like, this your team's bad, and I was like, yeah, whatever, dude, we're bad. And then we played and went, oh my god, that was one of our best performances of the season, and we just came out of absolutely nowhere. Since then, you guys have come on leaps and well, not leaps and bounds. It's been all over the place, hasn't it? How many managers? 3 managers since then. Ollie, then obviously Ralph, and
Ten Hag, yeah.
And Ten Hag. So the style of play has obviously changed massively as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing is we're actually having a style of play and we're actually implementing. We're actually setting up with game plans and implementing. The way we played against Liverpool wasn't the same way we played against Southampton. Against Liverpool, we gave them more of the ball and hit them on the break. That's the best way to play against Liverpool. We've seen Fulham have success with it. We've seen Crystal Palace have success with it. And him picking the front three of Alanga, Rashford, and Sancho made sense. And we were well worth the win. And like I said, I keep reiterating, you can see the difference the new signings are making. Like Eriksen was key. Like this is why I really wanted Eriksen. When people talking about I don't want Eriksen, it's a bad signing. I'm like, what is bad about it? He is before Casemiro our best midfielder. What are you talking about? Like light and day, he's our best midfielder. It's not even a debate. Now Casemiro's in. It's between those two. Like it's to me, it should be Casemiro, Eriksen, and one other. You take your pick, whoever we're playing. But all of a sudden now with midfield, we have 2 midfielders who can function. We can actually keep the ball and play possession football to an extent. That's what I'm hoping to see when Casemiro actually starts. But yeah, against Southampton, we played well, kept the ball moving, solid defensively. Because Che Adams is like, he's just a nuisance, and I mean that in a good way. Like you seen what he did to Chelsea yesterday. Like,
he did to us. He could have got a hat trick.
Yeah, beat us. So you know exactly what I'm talking. Proper nuisance. And I actually, as I was watching the game, I enjoyed the battle between him and Martinez. Like I was like, it's a good battle, but people talking about Martinez and he can't win headers. Well, I just seen Koulibaly and Thiago Silva lose literally every header to him, and they're, you know what I'm saying, they're tall. Koulibaly's what, 6 foot, Thiago Silva 5'11", like so. But yeah, Martinez he's come in and done that because United fans have been starving, including myself. When you see defenders actually come in and just do the basics, it seems like the world. Like Martinez wanting to defend, Malacia just wanting to overlap. You know what I'm saying? Eriksen Eriksen's not even done anything special. He just keeps the ball taking over. Like even for it was the first goal against Liverpool, he played the 1-2 with Alanga. That's Bruno. He don't do that. Like just basic, simple things that when it's not there, you notice it, but when it's there, you take it for granted. So and again, I've been saying back the manager, whoever he wants to bring in, go get him players. Bring me. I've been saying it. Bring me players. I don't care about prices. People talking about, United haven't got money. We always have money because of what we generate, and we've seen it. As soon as the Glazers was under pressure, all of a sudden Casemiro deal done like that. Anthony, 80 million, is it? 90 million? The money's there. So it's like, go and get, if we can go get De Jong or, I want your guy Tielemans, but I seem to be in the minority on that.
Bro, nobody's put a bid in for him.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I think they've lowered his asking price to 20 million, and not a single club has come in for a bid. Arsenal were just all over this window, and no bids even from them, and they agreed personal terms with him. And it's now a day before the transfer window. So they're going to try and wait it out until he goes on a free, but I'm like,
just
you paid 20 million for Vieira.
Yeah, like it's 20 mil. I'm saying,
do you know what I mean?
It's 20 mil. Like I said, I'm in the minority. I wanted Tielemans before. Like I was a fan of both Tielemans and Ndidi. And it's like, now when I look at a midfield and you add Casemiro in there, people talk about Tielemans off the ball. Go dominate the ball. Like, and to me, a midfield free of Casemiro, Tielemans, and Eriksen is stuff, dreams are made of for me. That's a major upgrade from McFred and Bruno. I don't think people realize how bad it is. Like, Bruno scored the goal against Southampton, but he was so bad in that game. He was so bad. He was awful. Like, anyone telling you he played well is lying. He was awful. Like, he's an enemy.
What?
Yeah, enemy of progress.
Easy.
I think that's being kind longer than that. He's just the enemy of progress. And he just sums up how bad we are. And yeah, he'll pitch up with goals, but that's not sustainable in terms of for the team. I say this all the time. Football isn't about the individuals. Don't give me individual numbers, individual stats. How does the team play? What did the team win? How much did the team win? Like, that's the same defense people have Ronaldo. Or Ronaldo scored 18 goals. All well and good, but we had our worst ever Premier League season, so are we going to hold him accountable for that? Are we just going to blame everyone else and not put no blame on him? So, well, yeah, man, I'm confident. And speaking to you about Leicester makes me even more confident, even without deficiencies, like without our lack of a striker.
Yeah, we're bad, man. I mean, imagine. Okay, have you played Chelsea recently?
No, we've not played Chelsea recently. No.
Okay, because there's been a weird thing where like us and Southampton have. So your next, so you play Southampton, or you're going to play. You've played Southampton.
No, we played
you played
Southampton
recently. They play Chelsea. We play Chelsea. We play you. They play. So the three teams are like we're just in this mini league at the moment, and we're just finishing bottom of that league all the moment. And you look, where Chelsea again lost to Southampton.
Oh, seeing the fan base in meltdown is great. Sorry, seeing other fan bases in meltdown. That's not mine. It's fantastic to watch, man. It's fantastic, beautiful scenes, man.
Yeah. And then what's it called? Yeah, that was the thing. Is, I'm with you when you said like people actually giving a toss and actually going and actually trying, and that was us for the second half. But we're 2-0 down at that point. It's just again. Losing, it shows you that they got battered by Leeds. They won against us. They got battered by Southampton. So that's how in the mud we are at the moment.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, I mean, well, I'll come on to the next bit we mentioned. Ten Hag, obviously three games again, didn't get it right at all. Now as it started to click a little bit, bringing his own players again with Casemiro and Anthony. I don't think Anthony will be ready for this game, will he?
No, he probably not. I think he should be here for. I'm hoping he's here for Arsenal on Sunday. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, we got Arsenal on Sunday.
I hope. Yeah, we play Arsenal Sunday, so I'm hoping he's here for Arsenal Sunday because he's been at the training ground. Cause I seen the CCTV footage from Carrington of him walking through the door, so he's here. They just need to bump that up. You know what I'm saying? Pay who you need to pay for this work permit and do the thing. Ooh, Lucas almost just scored. That was a good turn.
Fair enough. In terms of so Ten Hag, the man for you, but also they looks like they're finally listening to him at the moment and getting in who they want. But it seems to be like as soon as the fan base, your fan base goes into meltdown, then the Glazers issue. Do you think that all these signings at the moment, do you think they're just going to drop off like Bruno in like again January time? Because the thing is, Man United have this, especially with the good with the players bring in. Look, I remember when you bought, as you were just mentioning, what's his face? Di Maria. De Gea in my head. No, but Di Maria started the season on fire. Falcao, same thing. I remember against us, and then they just drop off. So I can't think of a massive sign that's really turned up for you.
We haven't.
10 years?
Good players haven't been promising, but I think the difference is we actually have a manager who has a style of play and is implementing a system. And we're gonna move to Arsenal. He has a style of play and he's implementing that, and he knows these players. My bro Tox mentioned this to me yesterday because we were talking about it. He was like, "What is the scouting department doing? These are all Ten Hag signings. Might as well sack the scouting department." But I'm all for him having that control because then he can get the best out of these players. And like I mentioned with Eriksen, Malacia, Martinez, you've seen the major difference they've made in 2 games. I expect Casemiro to have that impact. I expect Anthony to have that impact because that's the difference is they're talented. And football is now, I say all the time in 2022, is a system-based game. Yes, adding individuals of quality to it can help. But if you look at City, if you look at Liverpool, if you look at any successful team, their system is key. That's what it is. Like Manchester City,
Brighton.
They play the same. Brighton, you know what I'm saying? Even lower down the league, Brighton are the same. And that's where we need to get to. And slowly but surely, he's implementing that with his players. The players before him, that's why I kept saying none of this shocks me because I didn't need to see Shaw again, Maguire again, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Fred and McTominay together, Rashford, Bruno, Ronaldo. I know all of them didn't play people, but I'm using those players as examples. I know these players are not good enough, but I'm a Manchester United fan. I've been watching all of these players the entire time they've been here. Ten Hag's new. People don't realize he's not a Manchester United fan. So he doesn't know how bad Maguire is. He's not watched him. He's not watched a Shaw, a McTominay, a Fred, like a Bruno. He's not watched these guys. Does he have ideas? Yes.
but it's different watching it on TV and then managing it and seeing it fall in front of your face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see a girl's ugly from you go and see her in real life and you go, right, okay, this is a different level. Like it's true though, isn't it? You feel that energy. It's just different. And it can be just one of them ones. Yeah.
And that's what he did. So he figured out in the 2 games. All right, let me figure out who I can use. He's like, that's what I was saying to people. Ten Hag's is trying to understand and figure out. All right, who can I utilize in my system here? Who responds well to criticism? Who responds better to praise? Who can I rely on when we're under the cosh? Who's all well and good when everything's going well? Like, you get me? Who can I lean on to get the best out of other players and stuff like that? Like, he's still learning about. That's why when he didn't change the captain, I was like, he doesn't know these people. People are like, oh, he doesn't know these men. People are like, oh, take the captaincy off Maguire and give it to who? How are you going to take the captaincy and give the captaincy to someone you do not know? Bear in mind, we don't have another captain.
You did that before. You did that with Maguire when Maguire walked straight into the team as captain and went, huh? We wasn't even captain for us.
Like, why would you you didn't captain Leicester and then you bring him over and then you have to. People want everything now. You have to assess these things. He's got to assess what these players are like. He don't know these players. These players don't know him. So that's what it is. And like, when it wasn't a standout captain anyway, because Ronaldo, he was one of the most senior players, wants to leave. Bruno, as a captain, I don't really like him. I don't think he's captain material. De Gea was making mistakes before that. So our 3 most senior players, I'd Shaw in there 4. Our 4 most senior players are not it in terms of captaincy. So there wasn't like there was an ideal standout candidate for the Manchester United captaincy. But again, I get it from rival fans like trolling about the captaincy. But it was United fans complaining. I had a lot of that on my channel when I'm going back and forth. Oh, he's just a puppet. He's just in the Glazers' pocket. Nothing's changed. It's just like Ollie. He's played 2 matches. So I was reiterating to people, you need a bigger sample size than 2 games. You need a bigger sample size than 4 or 5. Give him half a season. Give him 15 league games. Give him Europa League group stage games, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and then assess this man. Then at the end of the season, and then see who he gets rid of and who else he brings in. And then next season, you judge him more harshly. See how he deals well with adversity. See how he deals well when Manchester United lose a game. How does he do well when we win a game? Tactically, like he tactically outdid Klopp. Like when we played Liverpool. Give him his plaudits for that. He's learning. He's figuring out. Because I didn't even like his subs in that game. But he worked and he got the result and got an important win. Southampton, he switched it up. I love what he's doing in the transfer window. I've said this. I've not liked a window this much in a long, long, long time. Like, if you would have told me you were going to sign 5, 6, and Casemiro and Eriksen would be 2 of them, I'd be like, what? I thought the Casemiro rumors was fake. When I seen it, I said, no chance. No.
Yeah. I didn't think it was real. Because I was thinking, why would he want to go there now? Like, it doesn't really make any sense.
Makes no sense whatsoever. Made no sense. But hey, I'm not complaining. Bring Newcastle quality, and I've seen United fans complaining about it. I'm like, Casemiro is arguably the best number 6. He's the best. He's arguably the best DM in the league. Outside of Rodri, he's a quality DM. And then that's what I realized is rival fans, I get it from. So if you City and Chelsea and Arsenal and Spurs or Liverpool running banter about Casemiro, but it was United fans that I didn't get. And I'm like, if any other side in the top 6 signed Casemiro, that would be lauded as a great deal. He starts for every single team in the league apart from City. And you could debate City. Apart from City. And the thing is, even if they did sign, it'd be like, what a great backup he is for Rodri. Very smart business.
It'll be the future Fernandinho.
Yes, Fernandinho. Yeah, it'd be like what, and he could play them both together. And he's like, he could do what Calvin Phillips has gone there to do. But again, because it's Manchester United, people to hate on it. Yeah, like this is what I'm saying. Do like Calvin Phillips, exactly that. And that's what I didn't understand. And then I realized, obviously, content creating, and you'll probably know this with your fan base as well, is a lot of the fans just want to complain, just never happy.
I think you're right. One thing is Twitter. This is why I don't spend a lot of time on it. 2, I think it's the difference in fan bases. Your fan base is huge. And you've got a lot more, you're tapped in a lot more to your fan base. I'm tapped into mine. And I kind of think the same thing about mine, but I know that yours is on a whole different level. Easy 100 to 1. Easy 100 to 1. I always say, like, you can walk into any office in the world, you'll find a Liverpool fan, a Man United fan. Wherever you go, literally everywhere in the world.
We were worldwide. 100%.
Yeah, you're probably everywhere. With us, it's a little bit different, and we're not smaller fan base. But again, just part of that is just turning off social media because it doesn't matter. Like I realized this years ago in terms of, without sounding too up myself, but going down to the ground, speaking to the fans and going, right, what do you got? speaking to people, seeing people around you, what is their reaction? What is the atmosphere at the stadium? They're the real fans. People that are hiding behind profile pictures of footballers that are having terrible takes. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Your take doesn't matter to me, because again, this doesn't mean I've met some great people through social media, yourself included, obviously through Lewis and that, but it doesn't matter about just there's plenty of Man United fans.
And that, facts. And that's what it is. That's why I don't pay it no mind outside of content creating. So if I'm content creating and someone's in the chat, I'll have a back and forth. But if I said something on this stream and I tweeted it and someone added me, I ignore it all the time. I mute people all the time. I ignore people. Like, that's not what I'm on Twitter for. I'm not on Twitter to go back and forth with you. Like, the content creating and the stuff going on, that's fair enough. But that's what I realized. It's like we signed Casemiro. Oh, he's not motivated. He's only here for the money. He's too old.
How do you know?
Yeah, he's. But then if we sign someone who's 21, he's not experienced enough. He's not done it. I'm like, so what do you?
Not
someone tell me.
Man United.
Yeah, not the standard. So someone tell me what this perfect DM looks like. Where is he? Who is this guy? Like, that's what I kept saying to people. I'm like, where these perfect players exist? And if these perfect players do exist, a lot of teams are going to be in for them. You have your Manchester Cities, you have your Liverpools, you have Chelsea, you have Real Madrid, you have Bayern Munich. Like, there's competition for these perfect who don't exist. Like I say, man, players, fans just want to complain to an extent. Casemiro's a phenomenal signing. Casemiro's a phenomenal signing.
I'm with you. When I saw it, I went, yeah, not happening. And then it confirmed. I was like, right, okay, then, fair enough. Again, it must have been the pull of Ten Hag. Like, it wasn't the pull of Man United, because Man United's pull back in the day was different. Now it's you're looking at that squad and the situation at the time, and you're going, why the hell would he want to join? It must have been Ten Hag.
Ten Hag sold him the project, which you can get off the back of the 2 results, and you're like, look, I'm trying to do this. This is the plan. And then when you look at the players who've been brought in, adding the fact Ronaldo's here, adding the fact Varane's here, I think that helps as well. Obviously, the money he's getting as well, that also helps. And he's like, Casemiro's like solidified now. Like, he's one of the best. Like, he's solidified, like, Hall of Fame. If there was a Hall of Fame for football, he's in the Hall of Fame. So even if he comes in and it goes terrible for 3 years, he's still Casemiro. So he's probably like, it's kind of like when you're on GTA and you clock the game and then you're just doing extra stuff. Like, that's what Casemiro's on now. Yeah. Casemiro just walking around doing extra stuff now. Like, you've clocked the game. Like, man's got what, 5 Champions Leagues, however many La Ligas, etc. Played at the international highest level. Like, outside of winning a Premier League, a World Cup, like, you pretty much done everything you wanted to. Because then when they asked him, will you miss the Champions League? He was like, I have 5. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, you'd be all right. But like I say, new challenge. He seems like the type as well, because of his tenacious character as on a football pitch, that maybe that he's like, all right, let me get motivated now. Let me go and build a project. Let me go to and play in the Premier League, go play at Old Trafford, go involved. And like I say, Varane's here and Ronaldo's here. That adds into it as well.
And I think the only thing you're missing in terms of that, I'm thinking about, obviously, I always think about in terms of spines of teams. De Gea is the weakness and the striker's the weakness. Yes. Apart from that midfield all the way down is now solid. But that's literally all that Ten Hag signings.
Yeah, because Ten Hag realized it very, very, very quickly. And he did. This is why his first signing being a left back, Malacia, I was like, ooh, I like that. Yeah, you know I'm saying he's because we was not linked when you got back before he came in. We wasn't linked with any left backs. It was all centre backs, central midfielders was all the links. It was centre back, central midfielders, Timber as well, who was a centre back / right back and can also play DM. And he's like, all right, Malacia, boom. I'm like, okay, I like that. Ericsson, smart business. Worked with him, makes sense, knows the Premier League. Martinez, after the Timber deal fell through, also makes sense. Left-footed, adds a nice balance to the midfield. It's like, okay, Casemiro, 4th. He's figuring it out. Do we still need more? Absolutely. But like you said, the spine, the Bravka, goalkeeper, he's figuring out De Gea's not it, which I think he'll identify. I don't mind it because it's on a loan. And we need a number 2. We need a number 2.
Yeah.
He's better than Tom Heaton. Yeah, he's Tom Heaton. Yeah. So, like, he's doing his best to do what needs to be done. And if the hair does get dropped, because the second goalkeeper going to play with all the games that are coming. The Europa League's next week. I'm saying you got Europa League, you got Carabao Cup starting 2 games a week. There's games on now. Like, these things are going to happen. So I can see it. But do we need a striker? Yeah, that is my major concern, is the midfield, another midfielder and a striker. They're the 2 things that I love us to get both, but I don't see it happening. But we need them.
Yeah, well, again, the window's closing. It pretty much looks like every everybody else is done. I mean, some people got interest. I think it was in terms of Newcastle. We are interested, FC. We've been interested. And probably, I don't know if it feels like with Man United as well, where it's like every summer it's like, we're interested in this player. It's like, I don't care because there's just 1,000 people.
Facts. We get linked with everybody. Oh, we get linked. That's why I take everything with a pinch of salt. We get linked with everybody, especially on socials as well. Because people can just write about, people can just say, oh, rumor about such and such, and people will run with it if they like the player.
And they're giving blue ticks to everybody nowadays.
Hey, Twitter, if you're watching, give me one, man. I want a blue tick.
Yeah, I want one as well. Let's go.
I want a blue tick, 100%.
Yeah, so shout out to Akash. I know he's got one from our side as well, so big up him.
Oh, has he? Big up him?
Yeah, it's really good for him. He even is like, I don't know how I got mine, man. He realized like, I don't know how. I was like, fair enough. So in terms of tactics at the moment, how does Ten Hag like to set up? Is it 4-3-3?
It varies. It has been 4-2-3-1. That's how he has been setting up. It has been the 4-2-3-1. So he's played. So for instance, at Southampton, it was McTominay, Eriksen, Bruno. That was the three he played in the midfield, and then you had it was the same team against Liverpool as well, and then it was Sancho, Alanga, and Rashford, and it worked. I'm saying, like I say, are we lacking a little bit going forward? Yes, because Rashford's not here as a 9. Yeah, he is a wide player, so he's definitely not here as a 9. Alanga's industrious, will work hard, but limited.
He's not there yet.
So it is Sancho, yeah. So it's kind of like that's what it is. Bruno in the 10 is just like, what did I call him earlier in the stream? An enemy of progress. So you're struggling when 3 of your front 4 ain't really it. Like Rashford's not really creative, Alanga's not creative, and Bruno's not really creative like that. And when I say that, people, I'm not saying they don't get assists. I'm talking about they're not playing. Bruno don't pick up the ball and play through balls. He don't, like, that's not his game. Alanga's not a tricky winger who's gonna create. Rashford is just, yeah, he'll be a willing runner into the channels. That's it. Sancho's the only one that's like that. That's why I'm so happy about Anthony, because Anthony's something different, and it'll also add balance, which then should allow Sancho to play on the left-hand side all the time now. And then we have 2 threats from either side. Is the middle a problem? Yes. But Sancho gets doubled up on a lot because teams know who the danger man is. Like Southampton did it. He picked up the ball and there's 2 men on him. I'm like, yeah, they know what time it is. So hopefully,
but it's having those multiple outlets. Sure, you can get doubled up, but then that means that somebody's not doubling up on somebody else, and there's one extra player free. So it's like playing with 10 men almost on that side. So one thing I was going to say as well, in terms of you mentioning, obviously, it's front strikers. Looks like Ronaldo's been dropped. What's the situation going on there? Because that's been banging on all summer as well.
It went exactly as I said it. Ronaldo wanted to leave. His agent was trying to get him a move. He overestimated his value. And like I said, nobody in 2022 wants Cristiano Ronaldo. He's just not it. And that's not a shot at him. He's 37 years old. Nobody who's trying to win domestically or the domestic league or trying to win and compete in the Champions League is signing Cristiano Ronaldo. Chelsea have Kai Havertz and Michy Batshuayi as their 9 options. And Tuchel still said no.
Havertz is so poor.
And Havertz
he made Daniel Amate look. Havertz is terrible. So like, it's one of the things, I don't watch too many other teams, to be perfectly honest with you, but I watched him and he made Daniel Amate look semi-competent as a defender. He lost to Daniel. He's just awful. And I don't know. He just keeps spending the money. Like, they just bought some dude I've never even heard of at 90 mil.
Oh, the centre back. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of him before?
Nah, I never heard of him. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, 90 mil. Like, what's going on? And then loaned him back. 90 mil for a player. Like Anthony, I've heard of. And I'm not like the most knowledgeable football fan. Who is this dude? Who is he?
I have no idea who he is. I ain't gonna lie. And they loaned him back. That's a strange one to pay that much for a player and then loan him back. Because they actually do need centre back. Like, all jokes aside, like, it's funny seeing them sign centre backs, but they do need these centre backs because they play 3 in it. So you need 5 or 6, to be honest. It's not like a regular sit where you need 4. They need 6.
They just signed one today. One of our man for Fafana. And then their fans are lapping it up. And as they, my thing is, lap it up. But when it goes south, like it will, like it did with Leicester, it comes falling down. It ends badly. Like, he jumped in there. Bearing in mind, they didn't put a bid in until like 2 weeks ago, and he was planning to stay here. Soon as the first whiff that the potential move could happen, down tools and he's off. He was unbelievable. And I can find, let me see if I can find bits
Diaz just missed an open goal as well. Hold that, Liverpool. Just putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? He swam around the goalkeeper and then put it over the bar. I'm saying, somebody's star boy.
So this is well, yeah. Well, is it Ryan Starboy or is it just Liverpool in general?
I just say Liverpool star boy, innit? Hey, Ryan, if it's your star boy, hold that. You probably he's there actually. Anyway, he's there. He's at the ground.
Oh, surprisingly, I'll punch in the face of some of his comments he makes.
Yeah.
Surprise. Anyway, so I've got this one here. So he's put in a dream realized. He's talking about it's my dream, which he's going to Real Madrid. He goes, it's very talk about the kit and stuff like that as well. So talk about the dream again. Let me try and find the article that he sent as well. And then just bear in mind this is the video that the club put out. I love the club. I love my fans. I love the club. He just says stuff, man. He just literally
he's one of them
things.
Yeah,
he's just one of those
them
guys. Yeah, he'll just say it, and that's fine. But don't lap it up. And the worst thing is, I was in that position in March. I was lapping up all of his comments. I love the fans. I love the fan base here. I love how they've helped me recover from injury. I'll bring up I've got it here just in terms of the sign a new contract and things. Legit, I'll bring it up. This was what I think I did this on Shameless, but again, it has to be emphasized.
Put it up. 100%.
7th of March, 2022. That's why I've committed my future to the club until 2027. Bruh. I went on to achieve more with the club. There's a lot of talent here, and we still have a lot more to do. This is, again, so he's mentioning again, it's just, it was just a bit mad. And also, I don't know if you saw, he's throwing the manager under the bus as well.
I missed this. I did see part of this in the Shameless FC group chat, but I wasn't tapped in.
Yeah, let me try.
What did he say? Yeah. I want to see this.
So normally they're quite chill and like, oh well, do you know what? Thank you to the management. Even if they don't enjoy it, they still have a little bit of like, thank you to the man. Or they just won't mention the manager at all. Do you know what I mean? Right. This one, let me bring it up just so you can see what's happening at the moment. Let me see if we can find it. So this is again official right at the moment. First of all, in his hashtags, he put LFC, which is a dumb move. And then he's got this. So this one here, I chose not to communicate during the transfer window, even though you did, by taking the stuff out of your socials, you wallad. The first thing he does is take Leicester and LCFC out of his bio. And so he didn't communicate, but fans are going to look for that. You know what they're like. Anyway, I didn't want damage to be here. Thank you for the top, who's our owner, and thanks to the managers. To the coach who's always appreciated me, even though he chose to expose me a lot lately. Like he's legit put that. Normally they put it like code. He literally put, even though you chose to expose me recently.
Wow. Yeah, they need a conversation. Oh, he's in. Goal. Got a score. Ooh, Newcastle just scored.
Oh, is it 1-0?
Newcastle just scored. That's a quality goal. I have no idea who the player is. He just took it top bins. Isaac just took it top bins.
Isaac playing?
Yeah. He just took it top bins and that. Great move. I think it was Van Dijk. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, people. I love Liverpool tears. Klopp is crying. This is brilliant.
See what Ethan's put in the comments. Ryan Diaz out. Goal.
Yeah, he probably is. Ryan's crying
Newcastle,
over there.
Ryan fuming.
Yeah. See, I even know Ethan that he knows how to treat Ryan, innit? This is A1, innit?
He just run bants on Shameless as well. He's just he just sits and goes, we're shit. But we go, okay, Fox emoji, heart emoji. I'm like, I'm there, man. I'll big up yourself because not a lot of Leicester fans. You got to stick together. In terms of that,
before you continue, sorry, Trent gave the ball away, and just have to put that out there, innit? Trent gave the ball away initially. Van Dijk not jockeying, not defending. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, Van Dijk. Who was that? Who was that fault? Henderson tried to intercept Fabinho. Oh, it's a mess. Yeah. Sorry. It's a mess. Yeah. It's just a mess.
Remember, Ryan was the one saying Fabinho was like, Fabinho. Yeah. Oh, well, when he's back, and then it's all good. Well,
it's a good finish as well. But yeah, go on. Carry on. Sorry, my brother.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I think the one thing I've got left, I've got James Garner. What are your thoughts on him? I think he's looking like he's moving on kind of.
Yeah, cool. This saying 15, 20 million. I couldn't believe my eyes. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see.
I'm like, a joke.
I'm cool because they're getting the big money from Chelsea for Gordon, apparently, isn't it? That deal could still be going down in that Chelsea. 90 million, man. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? 120 amps on Gordon. Flash Gordon, but
not even Flash. Just James Milner Gordon.
That's disrespectful to James Milner. Did you see, side note, did you see that guy drop his son trying to hug him? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
The guy dropped his son.
And the worst thing is, if you let it slip, you're like, right, I'm gonna hold it tight, and then like, right, I'll go with the other arm. He just went, and then he side slip, and never mind, I ain't gonna save this. I don't even do that with my shopping. You know what I mean?
Serious, man. You gotta hold on to that.
You gotta go right. You gotta like lean down and go to the floor. No, he's like, 100%. And then even the stewards are like, "Are you gonna get?" Even Anthony Jorgen's, "You're gonna get that." Like, do you know what I mean? It's just dropped. Yeah, that was, 40 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know who's more daft in that scenario. Chelsea for offering that much, or Everton for rejecting it. I don't see it in a minute. Like, pause. Like, I don't see what people are looking at when I look at, like, he looks like a decent player and that's it. But that goes on to Ghana in terms of, because he came through the Manchester United Youth Academy. There's this thing with our fan base where every player who comes through our Youth Academy must be given a chance and is the greatest player ever. And it's like, since the class of 92, we've had Lingard, Rashford,
Greenwood.
You can add in number 11 as well, who have actually gone into the first team and actually made an impact and been starters at some points and actually scored goals and won trophies or whatever. That's three in the past. In the past 30 years. So it's the same with Ghana. He went out on loan. I'm not gonna lie and say I was watching him at Forest when he was at loan, or he was watching him at Watford. No, I know Watford fans.
All good.
Yeah, he did. He didn't. I like that. That's petty. He didn't pull up no trees, because if he was actually performing well at those two clubs, you'd hear about it. So then the fan base was like, "Oh, why don't you want to see Ghana? Give Ghana a chance." I'm like, based off of what? So you don't want to throw Ghana into our midfield in the Premier League and look at who we're competing against. Yeah, Liverpool are getting beat and our run. This is Pep, you know what I'm saying, with Manchester City. This is Klopp with Liverpool. This is Conte with Spurs. This is Arsenal who are looking decent. This is Tuchel with Chelsea. Yes, some of them teams are struggling, but my point is the level of competition is high. It's very, very high. And people want to throw in Ghana, go get quality. Like Ghana or De Jong. Like Casemiro should be the bar. And you man are talking about James Garner. No, Casemiro should be there. I'm not saying Casemiro, but that level. Go get me. We mentioned it earlier. Telemans. Go get me someone of quality. And I'm not saying don't give youth players a chance, but we must have done something. Like, at least he's not even like impressed in a preseason game or something like that, like Zidane Iqbal did and Charlie Savage did, where it would make more sense to me. Where it's like they've actually played well in preseason. Cool. But people just wanted Garner in, and I'm like, based off of what? I don't get it.
And you look how they got their starts. You look at them three players. So Rashford only got his start because everything fell apart, and you just needed
injuries
up front. And then Greenwood. No, Greenwood kind of came through the academy, but he was killing it.
He was well known. Like he was one of them. He was well known. Like beforehand, I had people telling me about him 2-3 years before I'd seen him. So before he burst on.
I was hearing about him from fans that fanned up in Manchester, but from Leicester originally. Was like, this kid's good, and he goes, it's like killing everything. Like fair enough. But yeah, in terms of that, that's pretty much everything. I don't think it's just in terms of how did you find Southampton as an opposition, because they came back and thumped us. So that's the bar at the moment where I am, because Southampton are all over the place and they still managed to beat us. Chelsea as well.
They're well, because Hassan Hull's a good coach, good manager, well drilled, good system, good side. No, Hassan Hull's a good manager. He's not fantastic.
Can't get thumped 9-0. Shout out both of us.
You do get twice, but if you put anyone else in charge of that team, they're favourites for relegation.
9-0. It's not 9-0 if they go down to 10 men.
Yeah, no, it's not a 9-0 team. But my point is, if you put what he's doing, he's working wonders with that team. That team is nothing special. That Southampton team is. Like, you could argue, it should put it this way, they should be in a relegation battle of paper alone, is how I look at it. So Hassan, they're well drilled, well organized, and just spirited, but they lack in the final third, and it shows. They lack it. Like, if you gave them a serious striker, like when they had Danny Ings, major difference. Like I said about Che Adams, nuisance, handful, he's a problem, but that's where they was lacking with us. They just didn't have that firepower up top to really, really hurt us. United did defend well as well. And they'll always give you a game. I'm saying more often than not when you go St. Mary's. Like, obviously, it's differently. Like, some teams you might 9-0 them. But, like, for the most part, like Chelsea, you see them give them a game. They gave us a game. When the other top 6 sides go there, they'll probably give them a game as well. So that's how I'm looking at it, like, with Southampton.
And because the thing is, it's like the only reason why I ask is because you've played them recently. We've played them recently. 60 minutes we were completely dominant, and then we throw in the towel, and the whole mentality goes to dirt. And it could have been Che Adams should have got a hat trick, hit the post in the last dying moments of the game as well, even though the game was pretty much over at that point. Our mentality. So again, something that you'll probably see from Leicester as our mentality is just we play well for a certain period of time, and then afterwards it just goes downhill.
All right, so you lot could dominate for like the first 20 minutes, and then after that, like it
60.
could just it could be 60
minutes. We were 2-0 up against Brentford, obviously, against Brentford, and we just sat back, and they just came on 2 goals. Nobody's pressing them up, and then that ended that way. Southampton went 1-0 up. Fantastic free kick by Maddison, one of the only players that's really taking the game by the scruff of the neck, and it's like, right, I'm going to try and make something of this. And then we sit back, we concede 2. So partly down to the manager, partly down to the players, but I think we just need a refresh. But I don't know why he's still in a job. I don't know how.
Yeah, how is he still there? What is going on?
Even before this, people were, I think, I was seeing a meme about like, it was like Lampard, Gerrard, and Rodgers all going, which one of us is going to go first? And then out of nowhere, Scott Parker comes and takes that award.
I couldn't believe that Scott Parker sacking. Man lost to City, Arsenal, and was it Chelsea?
Yeah, and Liverpool.
No, it was there. So it was City, Liverpool, Arsenal. So 3 of his 4 games against arguably 3 of the top 4 in the country. And he sacked him. Like, I get getting beat 9-0 is all bad, but like perspective. They wanted to get rid of him. I think they just used that as an excuse. Because nobody looked at that and went, yeah, they should get points from Arsenal, they should get points from City, and they should get points from Liverpool. Nobody was looking at them. That won't be the reason why Bournemouth get relegated or stay in the Premier League, is playing against Liverpool and City and Arsenal. It won't be. Like, that's what it is. Yes, you want to keep the goals down to save you a goal difference, because goal difference could be an extra point down the bottom end of the table, but you got to give him more leeway. Come on, man. That's just common sense. That's just common sense. It's outrageous. But yeah, on the Ronaldo thing you mentioned as well, obviously, I know you mentioned that before.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, he just, what's it called? Like I said, I called it from early. He wanted to leave. Nobody wanted him. And that's why he's still here. And I said this. I say this all the time. If a player doesn't want to be at Manchester United, you let them go. And we're a better team without him. We're actually a better functioning team without him. Ronaldo's not a foil for anybody. Like, does he score? He's an excellent goal scorer. He will always score goals. Ronaldo could be 40 years old, and he will still score goals wherever he's at. But in terms of for the team, not here anymore, because that's all he offers. I keep saying this. All he excels at is scoring goals. He doesn't excel at anything else. And it's like, that's not enough in 2022. Gone are the days where a striker just scores you X amount of goals, and that's cool. Nah.
Well, that's okay if you're in the Italian league. I think that league makes sense, just being in the box scoring goals.
Well,
maybe Bundesliga, I could say you could get away with it.
Bayern Munich, yeah, maybe, but I don't even think Bayern Munich would take that, because Bayern Munich.
No, I'm not saying it would take it, but I'm thinking what leagues would work in the Premier League.
Yeah. In the Premier League, absolutely not.
But Italian league, it would work. In other, not as much. And yeah, speaking of, again, going back to the table, I'll show you how poor we are at the moment.
Let me see this. This will cheer me up. Okay, give me some more confidence going into the game. Right, you haven't really bottom of the league.
Yeah, we're literally bottom of the league. Us, Villa, Wolves, Everton, Bournemouth, Forest. The Forest can get thumped some more today. It's 3-0 at the moment, but they're still above us.
Wait, all 3 Midlands teams in the bottom 3.
Oh, that ain't happening. It is. It's all the Midland Donnies. Oh my days.
That's crazy.
We are crazy. Shambles, man. Us and then Everton that are signing. Everton's signings are just class.
Because it's super Frankie Lampard, man. That's why. He's just not a good manager. Like I said, I can see him getting sacked. It's just not a good manager.
No, I don't know. All their signings, I'm just like, huh? They're re-signing Idris Gueye, you know?
I think probably works in there. He probably gets into that midfield, to be honest.
Yeah, I have no idea. But Flawless, man, it's been great having you on, man. Appreciate having a good talk and things. Where can the people find you? I'll make sure to leave a link in the description for you as well.
Yeah, people, love for having me, man. Appreciate it. As always, it's always good being over here. You lot, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram there. That's me, Flawless, people. That's me, Flawless, right there. That's me on Twitter. And then Sarcasm City TV is the YouTube and Twitch channels, all sporting content. So you get football, you get basketball, plus more Sarcasm City TV in it. So go subscribe to the YouTube. Go
You
follow the
see me over
Twitch,
there as well.
and you see Neil over there, and you get separate content on both people, so it's not the same. So I don't think you can just subscribe to one and not watch the other. And it's like, no, it's separate content, people. So make sure you tune in.
Cool. No, so sounds good, man. Appreciate it. I'm gonna crack on with the rest of the press conference because again, it's all just flying in nowadays as well.
What's going on with the press conference? What's going on?
I always have a go at. I always have to do a separate thing with the press conference. So because we didn't have time because it's Wednesday and the games was on.
Yeah,
we play on Sunday, Saturday, Saturday, but long
you
week.
Probably,
all for fun. I had for fun and stuff to deal with. I had to just bang it all in one. But Flawless, again, appreciate you coming on, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man. Big up.
All right. See you guys. See you in a bit. And I'll crack on with the press conference.
Bless up.
Cheers, man. Yeah, make sure you check out Flawless again. I've got all the links in the description for him down there. Again, pleasure having him on once again. Time to get the press conference over and done with again, because normally we set the way into 2 videos this time. I see that Chris has got his cap locks broken. Chris, if you want to jump on, feel free. I'm going through the press conference just in terms of what Brendan Rodgers is saying. Should be a quick one because essentially we're bottom of the table and we're poor. Right, let's get on with this because Brendan Rodgers, again, literally on August 30th, which is only yesterday, he's already saying that Leicester City have no update to Wesley Fofana. So coming into this, there's no update for Wesley Fofana's potential move to Chelsea. He remains keen on bringing players in before Thursday deadline. Again, they did a video on that for the 3 that were going to be signed, but it looks like we're going to sign that Wout phase. We might have a look at him when it's confirmed in more detail tomorrow. So we're doing the directly after the game. Plus, we're going to go all the way until the end of the window, just so that we can get that transfer deadline. So we can just again go over the transfers, see how it works. Say we were moments. So link up over 5. No problem. Thank you very much, Chris. So yes. Again, Brendan Rodgers. Again, if you've not watched the video that I've done already, essentially. Again, I did it very last minute because I kind of knew it was going to be announced tonight, but it literally just was it was just such a small period of time. Sorry, I'm just sending the link over to Chris, where that is. But essentially, yeah, it's all done from that instance. He's gone, and we're going to bring in Wout Faes. If anybody knows how to pronounce his name, let me know because I have no idea. So, again, Rodgers hopes for stability and an ever-changing environment. He has to be stable. Again, Rodgers, you're not helping this situation by destabilizing it and also saying these players aren't good enough and I need new players. We have talented players and it means nothing if we're not together. Again, generic buzzwords. Rodgers has been saying a similar thing kind of for a while now. 5-0. Is that in terms of... is that against Forest or is that what you think the prediction would be? I think you might be right. Yeah, I think Man City, Nottingham Forest are going to be 5-0 down. At least they're still above us, but at least we got a little bit to check out. I think that's everything here. Is that everything for Brendan for the press conference? Also, yes, George Hurst has signed a new deal with the club. He was a promising one. Had 2 good spells at Plymouth. It was a good player. Brendan Rodgers mentioned that they was looking at him for the first team. However, going from the Championship to, I think, lower Premiership, then going to Ireland would have been a lot. Chris is here. Chris, thank you so much for joining. Just talk about George Hurst. I don't know if you know that much about him, but the fact that we're signing him on a deal and sending him out on loan could only be a good sign for our academy, hopefully.
It can. And I think if you look at the 2 players, we've been linked with 2 players today that are coming in there, that little bit older, 24 and 25.
Yeah.
And I think and neither of them are French, so just
Walter Faes is not French. I think he's Dutch.
One of them is playing in France, but is actually Ivorian Coast or something like Ivory Coast. But yeah, we kept 15 players on, didn't we, at the start of the season from the youth team? And if we've got those young players coming through our own academy, then let's have a look at the little bit more experienced ones.
Mm-hmm.
That hopefully don't spit the dummy out the pram at the first sign of, being offered something else.
After signing a contract 5 years, 5 months previous.
Yeah, I see Maddison's in trouble as well for saying good luck to him. To be honest with you, we've signed him. That is a good sign. And I think he was at Portsmouth last season, George Hurst. He's now at Blackburn. They're 10th at the moment in the second tier. They were first not so long ago. But he's obviously, this is going to be great for him because he's taking his, it's the right use of the loan system. He's played at League 2 or 1 or 2, whichever Portsmouth win. He's now gone to the Championship. And I know there's a lot of fans who've been calling, like, why isn't he getting a chance with us? But, maybe this time next year, he'll be the one we're talking about.
Potentially. I think with our strike options at the moment, again, I really rate our strike options. Yes, Jamie Vardy had he didn't have a good game against Chelsea, but he's still a good player. Patson Daka's there. Don't understand why he didn't get any minutes. Kelechi Iheanacho came on, changed the game. So he's fourth choice. And you look at it that way, and he looks like an out-and-out number 9. But that aerial presence that we could use, especially with the corners that we have at the moment. But I think, again, giving him that loan, giving him the opportunity to kind of go out on loan. Hopefully, I think there'll be a few more academy players that are going out on loan as well. But the future's bright, even though the moment we are grim.
Do you know what, though? I mean, I don't know if you've read. Rob Dorsett did a really good piece on Sky about what's going on at Leicester. Mm-hmm. And if you've signed up to the Athletic, do check out Rob Tanner's one. I had him on the show on Monday, and we actually went through his article.
Ooh.
And
is that my side? Oh no, you're all right.
I was very much. You'd pulled me over to the dark side, and that Rodgers must go. But when you actually read Rob Tanner's piece, you kind of understand what's been happening on the other side. Behind the scenes, and it's not necessarily all Rodgers.
Yes.
But this time last year, we're 1 point better off than Arsenal were, and not. They ended up in the top 6. I very much want to see what happens after the window shuts tomorrow night.
Yes, well, the thing is, what's happened as well, from what I understood as well, is that the club's finances were in a good place, and then all of a sudden, all these outlets have just come out and said, "No, it's not." And it was only Brendan Rodgers that was saying that beforehand.
Brendan Rodgers said that he needs to sell before he can buy, and that I hate him for that, because he might as well have just put a fire sale notice up on the on the stadium. But he was asked the question. The club have been very almost hanging him out to dry. They've been very strange by their absence on this. I think if Susan Whelan or Top had just put a bit on the notice on the website explaining, they've been hit really hard by COVID, short of discovering oil in Top's back garden, we're never going to compete with the Man Cities and what have you. And if they'd come out and explain a thing that we don't need to sell, but we will, if we, if obviously the right offer's made, I think we could have avoided all this. So I think it's been a bit of a profile by them on the PR side. And also, Rob's saying that, we've got to be careful, because if the King Power does go bump, then we go bump, because we're part of it. But he is, and we say Top all the time, but don't forget his brother's vice chairman. He's got a sister, possibly 2, I don't know, on the board. So that they're running this. The time for them to sell would have been after the unfortunate passing of Vichai. He didn't. He stuck with it. He said that they're not looking for investment, because this is one of the questions that came up at the end when we opened the questions up. He's not looking for investment, but if investment comes along, depending what it is, if it's for the good of the club, he said that's all Top will do, is whatever is best for the club. But he would not let the club. He would not lose control of the club. He would always have, and his family have the controlling interest. And he said the very important thing is that he will never be in trouble while Top and the King Power Group are in charge.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why we've got such good owners that will let that happen. However, there needs to be, as you were saying, there are some faults that have happened a little bit along the way. Obviously, just this season, obviously with bringing in Martin Glover, obviously there's the gardening leave. They would have known about that. That's a real situation.
Well, again, you see, I asked about that because like you say, put all these things together,
yeah,
and it's worse than just one happening. But if we'd had Martin Glover in place now, who would we have bought? Nobody.
I think it would have been
the funds aren't there.
Yeah.
But Martin Glover is the one that we wanted. Southampton wouldn't let him go, which is fair enough. They might have been worried about us maybe nicking another couple of their bad players off them. But so
they weren't worried. They were delighted about that.
But so if we had got him in earlier, and if he is the one we want, and apparently he is, people speak very highly of him, then it could be worth waiting for. And if he'd been in, he couldn't have done anything else anyway. Because we hadn't got the money,
And then another thing as well, I think one thing, again, the club has done, they've gone out and got themselves set piece coach. Still don't know the situation on that, whether his visa issues are sorted, whether he's allowed in the UK, what's happening there. So again, it's another instance of, again, I do love the King Power Group. This summer has just been, it's not been one to remember. A lot of players that should have moved on. However, kind of looking on the bright side, a lot of them will be gone in 2023 because there's quite a few players that are out of contract now.
Yes, there will. If I just think, we are fickle. I've said this many times. Football fans are fickle.
100%.
There's no doubt about it, and I include myself in that. I was very much Rodgers out, although I was in last season. I read that piece by Rob Tanner, and I've changed my mind again. But like I say, we're 4 games in, and yes, post Southampton, I was pissed off and wanted him, excuse my French, and wanted him out and what have you. But let's just put the serious hats on here. Like I say, 4 games in, it's probably not going to get any better for a few games because of who we've got. But if Brighton and onwards, we don't see sort of improvement, then you've got to start questioning him, because then it's back to normal. Things are settled down. We know what's happening with Yuri. But what Rob said was that they were planning on selling Yuri this window. It didn't happen. He didn't have a good season last season. He was out of position. This time last year, there'd have been a queue of clubs coming in for him. I've heard Newcastle and Liverpool might be coming in with a late bid. But if we keep Tielemans, I say we weren't expecting him to go. We weren't expecting him who must not be mentioned all blowing up and everything. But if we don't sell Tielemans, he could be the difference between us, let's say, get 7th and 8th. He's that good a player. And if he gets us makes that difference and gets us into 7th, we'll probably get more than £25 million by being in Europe.
Yeah, potentially. And I think as well, as you were mentioning, it's not just, obviously he is that player and he has shown that. And especially recently, he's shown that against Chelsea, where he was relying on the attack, basically the attackers. Barnes had a very Barnesy game. Good opportunity. Probably should have gone one-on-one a little bit more, because I think he's got a great player, and a lot of Premier League clubs are looking at him, not for signing them, just to go, out of Leicester players, he's a threat. And he just, for me, it's frustrating because he's such a good player. If he just gets his head down a little bit more and gets that confidence behind him, we've seen what he can do.
That's what they need to get back. Nobody at the moment is, overall, they're all underperforming. And you can't, 1 or 2 players, unless you're bloody David Beckham or Pele, 1 or 2 players is not going to be able to sort of save a game. And I think that is the problem, is that they, you need the team to get back together again. Now, I'm sure there's been a lot, what we've seen about the French defender, and I refuse to say his name, what we've seen about him, I'm sure there's been a lot going on in the background, a lot of unrest in the dressing room. That's gone now. He's gone. Can't wait till March when he comes back and see what reception he gets.
He's gone. So of course he got it at the Chelsea game, from what I heard as well. But also, the reception that he gets there, I think there's a couple of things at play. I think one, don't step on people on the way up because you'll need them on the way down. Not that he's necessarily coming on the way up down. It's just when the chips are down, you look to people who you trust. And again, if you found out that you're not welcome back in Leicester, for example, it's just not a good look. And it takes quite a lot for our fans to even the way that we looked at Mahrez. We go, fair enough, wanted to move, and yes, he threw his toys at the pram, but do you know what? We haven't had a winger like him. With Fofana, we have it's different.
Oh, shite. Sorry, mate. I'm going to have to go. I do apologise. For some reason, I've got in my mind that my show was at 9:30. It's not. It's at 9. I've buggered it up.
Okay, no problem. I might come and join you over there, Chris, but no problem.
You'll be more than welcome, mate. Sorry about that.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
No worries.
Bye-bye.
I'll see if I can pop over to Chris' channel in a bit. Overrunning a little bit late. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, looking at the conference, again, it's just nice to have a conversation with a couple of other people. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Again, for the game against Man United, it's a bit of a sticky one. It really is. Just some of the Rodgers has said again. I'll bring it up just quickly. Let's look at this one. Rodgers says the City are hungry to win their first King Power. I'm hoping so. Again, so many home games where we've seen this, and we got to maybe the title turn here. Again, speak to Flawless. I'm not too confident about it. It's a moment of time before it will come. It's not a matter of time. You need to make sure that, again, what I want to hear is we need to do everything in our power to make sure we get this win, or we will continue. Again, the game will come with confidence. There isn't really a lot to mention apart from that. So there's 1, 2, Fofana situation, then that's it. So if you enjoyed the video, thank you so much. Again, we're back for the preview that is happening, the post-match review tomorrow, 10 o'clock, going right up to the window where we'll look over Wout. We'll look over potentially another players that we've got a couple of signed as well. We'll do some stuff there. Thank you all for watching. Again, I know I appreciate again the amount of videos that have been coming out. We've appreciated all the love that you've showed us as well. If you like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.